I have a journal that I haven't even titled yet, but it goes with the one that I just made. So the Mayan day is tonight. This is from June 7th. And it has a couple of quantum physics, Dr. Quantum links in it. And I'll just read it and we'll go from there, see where it goes. I'm still feeling a bit keyed up, like there's something going on that I haven't quite tuned into. How about you guys? What's it been like for you? Are you feeling in any way strange or a little bit different? How goes your self-observing anyway? I hope to hear some feedback eventually by those who have been turned on by how awesome this is, just being inward focused for a change and the great change that it brings. Astrologically, right now, things are simply nuts. It's a truly intense year for that. Not just our December 21st date, but the whole year. We had some celestial happenings too in the last quarter of last year leading up to this. So the scene, the stage is truly set. Now, what's to happen is happening now. That's the sense I get, and I know I'm not alone in it. Just yesterday, in the Ascension 101 newsletter, Inelia Benz told us that the consistent message she's been receiving is simply this: it is time. Now, in other words. We're in it, whatever it is. So let's open up our sensing mechanisms completely. Extend our antenna out and about and tune in to whatever is there. And I'll step out here and say, as light beings, a lot of us are super sensitive. And you can often read it in your astrology. I have the moon in Cancer, which is super sensitive, and it's conjunct Uranus, which is really intense. And there's some other things, so you'll be able to look at your astrology too. I recommend Stephen Forrest. He has a book called The Inner Sky, which will give you the bits and pieces that you'll be able to put together within yourself. He's an intuitive astrologer, and he gives you what you need to get the sense of what a planet means, what a house means, what a sign means. And that's really good. It's fun. And at least in order to be able to interpret the basics of your own natal chart, which you can get for free at stariq.com. It's handy. And it's fun. And it's so relevant to what's going on now. Now, I didn't mean to get off on that. But what I wanted to say is that as light beings, most of us are extra sensitive. We may be psychic. We may have shut it down. I know that I did. I used to see things a lot, and I was focusing on it and trying to understand it. I was in college at the time, and I was just spending so many hours on it, and I couldn't find that it was leading me anywhere, that I wasn't able to make sense of it. So at some point I asked that it be shut down, and it was. And so only this week, actually, did I ask that it be turned on again, and we'll see if it works like that or if it doesn't. What I want to say, pardon me for using all these words, all I want to say is, as light beings, we're very sensitive. Chances are good in this harsh environment that 3D is on Mother Earth right now, we've probably closed that down. My suggestion is that now we open back up. It is time. It's our time. Okay, so what else did I read here? Right here. We can also be really centered at this time. Anchor yourself down, however you choose to do that. Nature is probably the best and most available grounding mechanism. Even just standing or walking barefoot on grass or dirt or sitting down on the ground is a great thing to do. Open up to Mother Nature. Let her enfold you. You enfold her. See what you feel. Don't forget, the planet, whatever else it is also a being, a feminine one. So you can talk with her. No joke, you don't have to, but that's a possibility. Now, that's not needed though, not at all. One thing that can be helpful is to sit down outside and gather up whatever is bothering you within. Have a look at it. And then put it in a box in your imagination, tie it up neatly, and then drop it down deep into the earth. Give it to Gaia with a request for assistance. She'll be glad to help you deal with it to ease your burden, since your burden is hers too. We're one with the earth, you know, quite completely. So you're helping, not hurting, to give to nature your burdens and troubles, things that seem to be weighing you down. Nature is more than able to transmute and shift that energy with you and for you. I feel so good about this whole thing, the great shift that we're making. It's so great knowing that so many of my fellow earthlings are awake and tuning in. I just heard that yesterday at times there were more than 200,000 people tuned in to the live NASA transmission of the Venus transit. That is so totally cool. That so many people are at least aware of these things. I truly feel we have reached whatever tipping point was required to nudge us into the next stage in the right direction. We've done it, friends. The rocket is launched. We're on our way. No time to relax totally and drop your guard, though. As long as we're in form here in 3D, we can expect the challenges to exist. It's just that we can choose to have a whole new way of looking at them now. It makes all the difference, as everyone will see eventually. What we're seeing now ahead of the pack is how we work together to create what we see. In our behind-the-scenes oneness, we're one loving family, working together to bring Mother Earth home, up into higher frequencies, into light, out of the insane, the intense duality in which we've been living these many centuries. It's safe to wave goodbye to that. Its day is done. Who knows how long before the final adjustments are made and everyone is at least generally aware that we've made a change. I don't know, though it's possible we could have one of those in a flash things happen. My bet is that more likely it will continue to be incremental, the way it has been for decades now. We can probably trace this change back to its beginnings in the 60s, when a whole generation said thanks but no thanks to the ways of society. They said, we'll do it our way. I'll step out again here to say, I just learned in listening to the June astrology report that back in the 60s, that was inaugurated by the conjunction of Pluto and Uranus, the ones that are making a very big deal in the sky now by being square, a very difficult, challenging energy. And so back then they were conjunct and we had the 60s. Now they're square and we have worldwide revolution and all the rest of it. So there's some powerhouse stuff going on in the sky. Just like the United States itself was a new idea, a new concept in the freedom, the God-given rights of man and woman, so will this new day we've entered become that, only not just to a country, to the whole world. We'll take freedom up several notches into the territory where all are aware that it's one side of a coin. The other side is responsibility. It will be a new, a blessed, and a balanced time. We won't be forced into anything. Our motivation will be joy and love and peace. Where do we find that balance today? We must find it within. Until we each manifest it in our own life, it can't come out into the whole. Let's remember that out there is really just a mirror, a reflection of what we all are within. The more we weed out our belief garden of the old ways, the old ideas around reality, what that is, the quicker our alchemy will get to work. Each one of us has tremendous powers that we'll spend the next decades, maybe even century, discovering, uncovering, and just playing with. We'll find a whole new culture of fun and enjoyment. How to find joy in simply everything might be a new college course. That one will be very transitional though, because before long it will just be obvious, no more instruction required. It's not required even now, but people have beliefs around how they learn. It's just expected that we go to someone that knows, usually a teacher of some kind, and sort of sit at their feet, or at least in their class. That itself will turn out to be old and outmoded, very much a 20th century thing. The new teacher, the new guru, is the divinity we can all contact and link up with within. Higher or inner self will be that much more accessible now we'll live in it. People will catch on pretty quickly that their best answers are always from within. For many, it will take quite a while to catch up with this idea, that of not needing teachers anymore. For the rest of us, though, we're already started on that work, and we find it's a joy. So let's all keep getting rid of outdated beliefs. Be alert for them. You don't need a classroom. You don't need an external teacher. You are whole. You can tune into others as advisors, as consultants, but not your teachers anymore. No more will we take someone else's word over our own inner guidance. We'll just know where the true wisdom lies. We'll trust the self far more. So let's get started with that now. I'm not saying to quit your classes or even do anything physically about what I'm saying here. I say this to help you tune in to your own inner guidance, the shining light that you bear to the world. You're at least as much a teacher as you are a student of life. It's time to be owning that, recognizing that we're each a spark of the one God, the true divinity. light are us. So let what I share here spark your own interior flame. Go to your own heart and pay attention to what you find there. Realize and own the direct tie that you have to Source. Take ownership of your life. Be done with all blaming, all judgment here and now. And that's a big one. That's all that I found in those comment threads. It's big not because it's natural to us, but rather because of how we've all been manipulated. We were programmed to judge, blame, and condemn. Well, now that's neither bad nor good. If you stay in heart with it, you won't want to judge. It just is what is. That's all. What's good, though, is knowing about it. That empowers us to make whatever change we like. It may take a while to pull up all those beliefs that have us criticizing and basically resisting life and what comes in on our now. That's okay. We're in this for the long haul, so that's no problem at all. We all have gifts and graces to share. What we brought to the party is just as important as what anyone else brought. We're not excess baggage, and we're not useless. Far from it. No matter what our current state is, we're truly important to the whole. And I say that about the wino bum on the street. Okay, no more judgment. Without your particular contribution, life just wouldn't be what it is. You count as much as some king or president somewhere. Start making friends with that. We've got to stop bowing down, figuratively or literally, to anyone, anything, and most of all, to any idea or belief. It's time to stand up and to stand sovereign. We may not have the full inner connection yet that gives us conscious access to all that we know, which is simply all. But that doesn't matter. Don't wait around until you know everything, until you're perfect. Join in the fun, in the show, that the unfolding of all of that is meant to be. You're a part of that, too. Even if your unfolding is more of a private affair, held just between you and your journal, that's okay, too. Just open up to it. Really open. Let yourself flow, and don't block what comes, what arises from within. Learn to just watch, all the time observing what's going on. That's enough. Your guidance will come on the winds of the internal flow. But you've got to be there to get that guidance. Let's all do what we can to not be with mind quite so much, especially when it's doing its hamster wheeling thing. Just leave it alone, ignore it for a while. Remember, mind doesn't need your supervision, your presence, to function any more than your attention is required to make your heart beat. Trust your body. Trust your mind to be able to do its thing without your focusing there. You see, our focus, our attention, is a real flow of power, of energy. In this time, we'll be learning just how intense our gaze really is. We change what we look at. Did you know this? It's a major result of the double-slit experiment in quantum physics. There's no such thing as objective, as an objective observer. To watch, even mechanically, believe it or not, that is with a camera, is to alter the outcome. Now again, I just made a short video on that. I'm rehashing all of that within right now, but I'll let this stand. If you have resistance to this or any such understanding, do two things. First, just watch so that you can be aware of the resistance. And second, go do some basic research on that experiment or whatever it is, maybe quantum physics in general. I've provided some links to get you started. This research is important, but mostly just for you. It will help you in letting go of long-held beliefs that just don't hold water anymore. Do what you need to do to take back your power, to realize that in your gaze is real power. Let your research open the way for those changes. We all have old, stodgy beliefs hanging around. The time to clean house is now. I know my links are to Dr. Quantum, and so they're lighthearted, actually a sort of quantum physics for dummies. But hey, why not? Who says we have to learn the old way, to sit in a classroom and mostly be bored? Let yourself loose. Kick those old ideas and beliefs out. Be free to have fun whatever you do. Yeah. Lighten up, let's all lighten up. I'd go for a class on that. We could all use it, don't you think? In how many ways are you way too serious about stuff? About anything, really. Look at those YouTube comment threads. Oh my God, way too serious. Take up your dual vision of being both here and at your life review, NDE style. And have a look at all the things you're so serious about now, only from there. What do you see? Nothing, but nothing here is as important as we currently make it out to be. Or it's important, but in so drastically different ways than we realize. All of this intensity we put on things is false. It's what keeps us trapped. From the life review stance, it's much easier to see what really counts, and it isn't anything in 3D as much as what we bring to it. It's relationships and love, caring and joy. Our priorities have gotten quite out of whack, even just for ourselves. For each of us, they need a big adjustment. So use your own upcoming life review. Place yourself there in imagination or in awareness to shift your views, to grow up fast. This is truly one powerful exercise. For simply anything that is bothering you now, go into the life review stance. See it from there. And now, how important is it? Most things fade right off the map when looked at from this perspective. It's that powerful. It will give you mega peace. If your imagination needs a boost to make the shift, then spend an hour or 2 or 20 with my NDE Play List. I'll link you to it. Start anywhere within it, or hit the randomize button. Have some fun while getting in tune with being back over there on the other side, in higher consciousness. You are right there now. Did you know that? Do you accept it? It's in simultaneous time that we have access to simply any moment in existence. They're all now. They're as close as your focus of attention brings them. And in our new world, that's just how things will be. You get to choose. Be empowered, my friends. Let's get over thinking that we're these tiny, inconsequential human accidents of nature, some sort of blot on the planet that is killing her. This is our programming. Let it go. Get out from under that garbage. Be divine. It's who you are. Okay, and that's what I wrote. Just like with simultaneous time, we are immediately in any moment we choose, because it's all just now. With superposition, we exist as a potential anywhere, and so the one collapses time and the other collapses space into my favorite little thing, the now here, that when you collapse it becomes nowhere. Good day. Talk to you again soon.